Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist of the Abyss, and you're watching my review for World Trigger Chapter 153. Okay, now, just like I predicted last week, Kashio and Kai start fighting, and Kai does not want to let him go. Okay, he actually gets told by his operator to let him go, but he decides to keep fighting anyway because he thinks he's got Kashio right where he wants him. But unfortunately for him, he didn't take into consideration the other members of OG Squad. Okay, Kazuki, he was actually in a position to use Salamander, and he does use it, and Kai actually does manage to defend against that large blast from long distance, but uh, it caused him to shift his attention away from Kashio, and that gave him the opportunity to shoot Kai from point-blank range and take him out and make him bail out. Okay, so OG Squad is currently winning. All right, 1 point to 0 points for both Ecoma and Tamacom 2. All right, and this is actually an important elimination because that takes away Ecoma's numbers advantage because they've got 4 guys on their team. Okay, so now it's just 3v3v3. All right, so that's actually and Ecoma Squad never had the chance to fully meet up, so they literally didn't get a chance to do anything before they lost their numbers advantage. So that's actually a really big moment. That's not a big moment, but it's important. It's an important moment in this match. Okay. Now, while all this was going on, Osamu had to decide what his next move was going to be. Okay, and he decided that his best move was to head to the west past Ecoma Squad and then just start creating wires in the wire zones over there. Okay, because the other options would either move him out of bounds if he moved too far to the south. It would prevent him from creating wires if he just sat there and waited for Yuma to get there. Or it would cause him to run into OG Squad if he tried to go north and meet up with Yuma. Right? And that would force him to fight, which is not what they want. Right? He needs to be able to, if he's going to engage the enemy, he needs to actually finish creating the wires first, just like what happened with the last fight, right? Or with the last match, I should say. Alright, so he decides the best course of action is just to go west. However, because OG is smart and thinks in a similar way to Osamu, he actually managed to figure that out and predict it. Okay, though he did say there's a chance he could go north to where we are too, so to keep an eye out. Alright, but they end up getting to where Kashio is and picking him up. However, Yuma comes in, cuts off Kashio's right arm, and that distraction allowed Chika to snipe Kazuki and get a shot in on his ankle. Okay, not in the head or anything. I don't know, maybe she just didn't have that shot. She only had the shot for his ankle. Obviously, it's a good move to hit the ankle because one of OG Squad's strengths is their mobility, and hitting him in the ankle obviously impacts that. He ended up having to cut his lower leg off, so that definitely slows him down, and if the squad was planning on moving together, that slows all 3 of them down, which is why OG starts to think if they should continue to stick together. He thinks that there are 2 options. They can either stick together and take out Yuma together, or they can split up and he can send Kashio off to go track down Osamu and deal with him, while the 2 of them stay there and fight Yuma. Alright, now, again, we don't know where Chika's location is, and we don't know what kind of shot she had, so maybe the leg was the only thing she could get. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. It's just, I mean, I feel like there are other places you could, I mean, obviously the leg impacts mobility, but, like, couldn't you shoot him in the, like, it's never wrong to get a headshot in. You know, it's never bad to get a headshot, but, you know, whatever. They chose the leg, so that's what we got. But anyway, like I was saying earlier, OG had a choice to make whether to stick together or split up. Unfortunately for him, another variable popped up, and that variable's name is Ecoma. Okay, he used Kogetsu Whirlwind in an epic double-page spread. I love this. Both that one and the last 2 pages as well. I love these two pages. Well, these 4 pages. It was just cool. It was just really drawn well. All right. But to Ecoma's surprise, Yuma actually managed to block the majority of that whirlwind and negate most of the impact. He did still get cut on the side, so he is leaking a little bit of Treon now, but I don't know how bad the leak is. It obviously can't be as bad as freaking Kashio having an entire arm missing, or Kazuki having his lower leg missing. It obviously can't be that bad. So as bad as those two, I should say. So but it still affects the way he fights. He has to conserve Treon. So I think it will impact the way he goes about this fight. I think it will impact his strategy, but I don't think it'll be like, if he does end up bailing out, I don't think that well, from a writing perspective, if he's going to bail out, then that injury should come into play at some point. Just as a writer myself, just the way I think, if you're going to have him bail out, then that injury needs to be a part of it. You know, but I don't. If anything, I think the only way that injury ends up affecting him is because someone attacks him and then makes it worse, or they use that or that injury ends up leading to an injury somewhere else where he gets his arm cut off or something, like, or where that injury ends up impacting him a strategy, and that strategy that he uses ends up being his downfall in some way. Or not necessarily his downfall, but ends up negatively impacting him. You know, I think the injury is going to affect him, but not like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's because it's just not. It's not a big deal. It's a cut. You just put a band-aid on that crap, okay? Like, I just don't think it's going to affect him that much, right? But yeah, next chapter we will obviously see this fight continue. We don't know if Ecoma is the only one there, or if multiple members of the squad are there, like Ash Ketchum. I'm still going to call him Ash Ketchum, Satoshi. But Koji as well. We don't know if the other members are there, but I'm sure we'll see next week where they're all at. And like I said, everybody's converging into one place, so that's interesting to see, except for Chika and Osamu going in literally the opposite direction. But anyway, that's it for this chapter, you guys. I will give this chapter a 7.5 out of 10, just because Kai's elimination, it wasn't like climactic or anything. like it would have been cool if he had gotten taken out by Salamander, but he wasn't. So like, it was just like, and his operator told him not to keep fighting, and he just ignored it. So like, that's just him being stupid. So I mean, like, it was cool and all, it just wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. You know, it wasn't as climactic as it could have been. Plus Yuma came in and cut some body parts off, but he didn't actually beat anyone. And then Ecoma came in and like made it exciting at the very end. And Yuma made it exciting too, but not as much as Ecoma did. But so it was a decent chapter. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10, and that is that, you guys. Nisekoi ended recently, so I may do a video about that. I actually dropped Nisekoi like 100 chapters ago, because I read like 120 chapters of this manga, and I knew I was wasting my time. But you know, sometimes when you're a fan of anime or manga, you've got this sense of completion, and when you put in X amount of time into reading a series, watching an anime, following a series of some sort, you don't want to drop it, and you just want to force yourself to keep going until the end. But it gets to a point where you realize, no, this is a complete waste of time. Why am I reading this manga? So I ended up dropping it because there was no progression. Everybody knew it too. There was obviously no progression at all. There was never going to be it. Komi Naoshi literally went out of his way to eliminate the only element of the plot that could actually make it progress, and that is the key for the locket. He literally had the key break so that they were incapable of moving the plot along. Okay, like it was like. And then I ended up reading it for like another freaking like 20, 30 chapters after that, because I don't know why. But anyway, the point is the manga ended, so I'm thinking about just reading like the last 15 chapters or so. And just getting a sense of what the ending was like, and then maybe doing a video on that. Plus Bleach is ending, so I'll do a video. Again, Yuha Bach fight made no freaking sense. You know, I'll just save it for the I'll save it for the video. Okay, Kubo needs to stop it with these OP powers because he ends up having them make no sense. Okay, if you're gonna have a weapon that can negate somebody's powers, you can't use it on someone who can see the future because they're gonna know that that's exactly what you're gonna try and do. Okay, so it just doesn't make sense. But you know what? Whatever. I'll save it for the video. Okay, I don't know if I'll do 2 Bleach videos, one for the ending and one for the Yuha Bach fight specifically, or if I'll just do a separate, or if I'll just do like one video for like everything. But yeah, I'll just do one video for everything. Because then what's the point of doing a finale video? Like, unless I'm just going to sum up the entire series, and what's the point of doing a finale video if I've already talked about the end of the final fight? So I'll just save it all for one video. So sooner or later, I'll do a video for Nisekoi and a video for Bleach. And that is that, you guys. Rate, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at BlacklistOTA. And I will see you guys next time. Don't